Two round of 16 games, two completely different stories, and one of them might be the best lesson in game management you will see this entire tournament. Let's start with Morocco, because what they did against Canada deserves a lot more credit than a 3-0 scoreline usually gets. Morocco are through to the quarterfinals, matching what they managed back in 2022 when they reached the semifinal, and this run has come through beating Netherlands in the round of 32 and now Canada in the round of 16. Full credit to the manager, Mohamed Wabi, because tonight was pure chess. Not the prettiest football Morocco have played this tournament, but arguably their smartest performance. Here's the twist, though. That scoreline makes it look like a beatdown, and it really wasn't, at least not for most of the match. For long stretches, Canada were genuinely the better team. In the first half alone, Morocco held 67% of possession and still managed just one shot, worth barely 0.02 expected goals. Canada had four shots in that same half, two on target, worth 0.42 expected goals, with Stark comfortably their most dangerous player at the center of most of it. That is not possession masking a bad performance. That is Canada actually creating the better chances while Morocco sat back and absorbed everything. And remember, this was Canada playing with home advantage and real momentum behind them in just their second ever World Cup knockout appearance. Holding your nerve on the road in that kind of atmosphere is exactly the sort of thing that gets ignored when people only look at the final score. That pattern held up across the full 90 minutes, too. Canada finished with 10 shots in total, 3 on target, and 32 touches inside the Morocco box. Morocco managed just 5 shots the entire game, but 4 of those 5 were on target, worth 0.78 expected goals combined, and they scored 3 of them. 3 big chances created, 1 missed, 3 converted. That gap, chances created against chances actually taken, is the whole story of this match, and that is the whole point of this video. Being clutch is not only about scoring goals, it is about doing the unglamorous things really well when your team is not flowing, and then making the most of the few moments football actually gives you. A clutch moment does not have to be a goal. It can be a last-ditch tackle, a headed clearance at the back post, a pass that unlocks a defense, even the pass before the assist. Those small moments define the rhythm of a knockout game, and tonight, Morocco's players executed almost all of them. Morocco defended brilliantly. Mazraoui at left back had one of his best games in a Morocco shirt, winning 7 of 8 ground duels and 4 of 6 in the air, adding 10 clearances, including 6 with his head, constantly first to every second ball. Bono was excellent behind him too, 3 saves in total, denying close to 0.7 expected goals worth of shots on his own goal line. Hakimi on the opposite flank was just as vital, winning 5 of 10 ground duels and 3 of 5 in the air, not only setting up a goal going forward, but contributing 9 separate defensive actions of his own. And sitting deepest in midfield, Morocco had one player who barely lost a single duel all game, dictating exactly when the team pushed forward and when it dropped off. Morocco actually broke the deadlock in the 50th minute, and that is where this turned into a genuine case study in management. Morocco's own changes, bringing on Amrabat for extra defensive cover and Talbi in place of Kanous for fresh width on the left around the hour mark, were sharp and well-timed. Canada's were the opposite. Marsh did not make his first change, bringing on Laren, until well past the hour, and his second move, a double substitution adding Promise David, did not arrive until the 78th minute. Just 3 minutes later, Morocco scored again. Every time Canada tried to force more energy forward, it opened exactly the kind of space Morocco was waiting to break into. The bench made the difference in the biggest moments, too. Unahi's goal, Morocco's second, came from a beautifully worked set-piece combination that pulled him free at precisely the right second. Sofiane Rahimi, on for the injured Sabiri, finished off Morocco's third with real composure, and Brahim Diaz quietly ran the closing stages, ending the night with 2 assists and 15 of his 19 passes finding a teammate. None of this was Morocco's best football of the tournament, but this is still a team with genuine pedigree. Remember, most of this group already won an Under-20 World Cup. beating Argentina, Brazil, and Germany along the way. They know how to handle a big occasion, and tonight was another example of exactly that. Now, the other round of 16 game, and I will be upfront about this one. Calling it a football match feels generous. France got past Paraguay 1-0, but that scoreline tells you almost nothing about what actually happened out there. This was genuinely one of the worst refereeing performances of the tournament. Paraguay set out from kickoff to rough France up physically and mentally, and somehow finished the match with 0 yellow cards, zero, despite a blow to Mbappe's face, constant niggling fouls, and players like Galarza getting right up in France's faces near the touchline. Remarkably, this is the first time since the 1998 World Cup that Paraguay have played a World Cup match without picking up a single card, which tells you plenty about how much the officials let slide tonight. To France's credit, they did not back down from any of it. Mbappe more or less said afterward that if Paraguay expected France to show up in a tuxedo, they had badly misjudged the situation, that France came ready to match that physicality if the game demanded it, and that now it is over, they can get back to playing actual football. Tactically, France got their starting lineup slightly wrong. Dembele was pushed too wide against a defense sitting deep and never really found the space to cut inside and threaten. Barcola is a genuinely excellent runner with the ball, but against a packed low block, you need someone who can manipulate tight spaces rather than just sprint into them. And that is exactly why bringing on Desired Dea for Barcola alongside Cherki for Dembele completely changed the shape of the game. Doué's close control and his habit of shifting the angle of his run were what finally unlocked Paraguay's defense, and it was his dribble past two defenders that won the penalty France needed. A few people online questioned the call, but watch it back. He is clipped from behind mid-stride before he can get a shot away. That is a penalty every single time. Mbappé stepped up, sent the goalkeeper the wrong way, and finished with total composure. In midfield, Kone was excellent all night, breaking up play and winning his tackles again and again, exactly what France needed against that kind of approach. The numbers back up just how one-sided this actually was. Paraguay finished with 24% possession and 5 shots, none of them on target. This was not a team that came to play football, though to be fair to them, when you are that clearly the underdog, making the game as scrappy and physical as possible is sometimes the only realistic route through. If there is one real positive for Paraguay to take from tonight, it is their goalkeeper. This is a keeper who already knocked Germany out in the round of 32 and then made 4 more saves against France tonight, on top of another Man of the Match award, and there is a genuinely remarkable story behind him. Not long ago, he was completely broke, selling his own match kit and boots just to feed his family after his daughter was born. Walking into this World Cup with only 6 caps to his name and barely a reputation outside Paraguay, nobody knew who he was a month ago. Everybody does now. So here is what is coming. Morocco will face France in the quarterfinal, and unlike tonight's game, expect actual football. Both sides can genuinely play, and neither one will need to hide behind fouls to survive. Beyond that, the road could lead to Spain or whoever comes through Portugal versus Belgium in the semifinal. And later today, we also have Brazil against Norway, with Mexico against England and Argentina against Egypt still to come in this round. Let me know what you thought of both these games down in the comments, and catch you in the next video.